What's up, guys? We're back with another video. This video, we're going to be talking about the true story behind a haunting in Connecticut. Not only the true story, but the controversy behind it. Before we get into this, you know what I want. If you've been here before, you know what I want. I want you to hit that subscribe button, join the Mermaid Gang. And by the way, I cut 6 inches off my hair and I feel like I've just shaved it off. I know that's a little dramatic. Like, I know that is dramatic, but when your hair is down to your butt and then now it's just up to here. My hair used to sit in my lap, pulled over my shoulder, but I actually feel a lot freer and lighter. So hit that subscribe button and get ready, because we're going to talk about the true story behind a haunting in Connecticut and the controversy that comes along with it. Okay, so basically we all know about the 2009 horror psychological thriller A Haunting in Connecticut. As I said before, it is actually based on what the families say are true events, although many people say that it wasn't true. I'm going to tell you all about it and you can form your own opinion if you think these were real events or if they just made it up to get a movie and some money out of it. I don't know. Either way, it's freaking creepy. Okay, so basically we are discussing the Snedeker family. Yes, that's their name. Mom and dad are Carmen and Alan, and then they have 4 kids. Although some articles say they only have 3 children, 3 boys, but most say there was 4 children: Philip, Bradley, AJ, and Jennifer. Well, Philip was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and therefore they were having to travel a very long way to get him to his treatments at the hospital, and his mom was afraid that it would make his condition worse. She was afraid that the long commute would kill him, basically. And so they started looking for homes, but apparently in that time it was very hard to find homes for families of that size. Normally people would only want like parents and 2 kids at the most renting their homes. But anyway, so they found one at a hella cheap price. I mean, that's like red flag number 1, right? Why is this so cheap in a time when y'all don't even want this many people in your house? So basically, on June 30th, 1986, they purchased this seemingly perfect home for hella cheap. And the day that they moved in, Philip, the one who was sick, automatically was like, "Mom, I don't like it. There's something weird about it." And she was like, it's just you. It's not that serious. Like, it's fine." So basically they get moved into the house and they stumble across this morgue equipment, including things like toe tags. Now Carmen says, whenever they tell the story, she's like, we did not know the renovation equipment was blocking it, and we had no idea that it was a morgue at one point. Basically the owner was like, she's lying. She knew it was a morgue. I disclosed everything. I told her that's why it was so cheap, blah blah blah, whatever. Hearsay. I don't know which one's telling the truth. I don't know. Either way, regardless of whoever was telling the truth, if Carmen really didn't know or if the owner really disclosed it, the house had been used as a funeral home / morgue for decades. And then not only that, they started noticing weird things about the home. Like, as they were walking through it, Carmen notices that there is a crucifix over every single door in the home. Every door. Carmen was starting to get freaked out, especially with that, and then all the morgue stuff. And then Philip had already told her, Mom, I think something evil is here. But Dad was like, what? This is our only option. Like, this is our choice. This is where we're gonna have to be. So anyway, Dad has to go back to work in New York, far away from the family. So it's up to Mom, Carmen, to get everybody settled in. Well, remember, the morgue was in the basement. And Philip's room is also in the basement. One, because it was very spacious and it had a very accessible bathroom for him, because going through treatments, he was throwing up a lot. So it was easy for him to get to the bathroom. And also, I guess it was somewhere close to her room so she could hear him if he needed help. But his brother Bradley also was staying down there. Carmen did block off the area to where the morgue was, but still, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, not sleeping down there. So basically, the first night they were there, Philip is hearing his name called over and over and over again. And so he tells his mom about it, and his mom was like, oh, you know, the sound just travels in this house. I was on the phone with your dad, and you probably just heard us. You know, you probably just heard your dad's voice. So, anyway, she blows that off. And then they're like getting settled in, and she's like exploring the house and I guess putting stuff away in like cabinets and stuff. And she finds pictures of the deceased people from the morgue in the cabinets. Yeah. There was also a small cemetery in the backyard near the garden. A small cemetery. So while Carmen is doing her thing, you know, finding all that stuff, the three boys decide they are going to go through the barricades and go into the morgue. Well, while they're in there, they notice this red, wet substance on the wall. So they touch the liquid, and what do you think it is? What do you think it is? I'm gonna take blood for 300, Alex. Yeah, it's blood. So they run upstairs and they tell their mom that there's blood leaking from the freaking walls and the floor, and all she did was bitch at them about being in the morgue area. Okay, yeah, bad idea, but still, can we address this? There is clearly a problem. So not long after that, Philip starts seeing this man down there, and he has like a bony face, like jet black hair, and he like calls his name all the time. Yeah, now he's seeing people. Now he's seeing a person. But his mom was just like, oh, you're probably hallucinating from, you know, the treatments and the medicines and shit. You know, there is like a theme with all these movies. Y'all don't be addressing shit. Y'all just be like, it's nothing. And it always turns out to be something. Basically, the next day, Carmen calls his doctor and she's like, hey, I think my kid is hallucinating from his medicines or something. And his doctor was like, no, his medicine has no side effects that should be making him hallucinate. Okay, so now Carmen is downstairs and she notices that the crucifix above the morgue is missing. Like someone just took it off and took it. Just left with it. Okay, so that creeps her out. Well, I guess later at night, the boys are in the basement and one of their freaking toys goes off. Well, the light from the toy illuminates just enough for them to see 4 dark, creepy, freaking figures in the basement. But they looked so real that the boys thought that maybe someone had broken in their freaking house. So they ran upstairs to get their mom, and she was like freaked out too. She came, she was looking everywhere, and obviously didn't see anyone. But she had been feeling like she was being watched and that something was there too, or someone. So she thought about calling the police. But for some reason she doesn't. And then she goes back upstairs to the kitchen, and then she realizes that crucifix is gone too. Okay, those were just minor. Now it's getting hella creepy. So Bradley comes home from school one day and goes down to the basement to find Philip tearing down all the barricades to the morgue. And when Bradley asked him, "Dude, what are you doing?" Basically, Philip, looking very empty and creepy, looked at him and was like, "I made a deal with him." You did a what now? With who now? So now from this point on, basically, Philip starts acting like a douchebag, really. He starts being violent and rude and mean to everyone and just acting like, I don't know, like he hates everyone. He's just really awful. And so obviously his mom, his naive mother, was like, oh, it's probably just because of what he's going through with his sickness and his treatments and whatnot. After all this that's been going on in your house, your son's been trying to tell you this, and now his whole demeanor has changed, and you still think that it's just some psychological thing. See, but here's where Mama gonna learn her lesson. She gonna learn, because she started having experiences herself, like lights flickering in the house even when they would take the bulbs out. Then dishes would come out of the cabinet, and sometimes dishes would put themselves back in the cabinets. And the absolute worst, freakiest thing that she experienced was she was mopping one day and her mop water turned to blood. So she like rubbed her eyes. You know how they do, they like rub their eyes because they think they're seeing something. Well, she did that and it was still blood. And then after a few minutes or seconds or whatever, then it turned back. So now Carmen has this niece. Her parents are going through a divorce, so Carmen's like, you can just come live with us, whatever. So the niece moves in, whatever. Now we're gonna go back to Philip. So when Philip was like going through things normally, he would write in a journal. Well, he started writing in that journal. Now his mom stumbles across his journal and she starts looking through it, and he had been, like I said, writing in it. Well, in this journal she finds like poems, and there were stories of murder, anger, and just abuse to those bodies. But the creepiest part is that he was dyslexic, so there was no way he should have been able to even write in complete sentences like that. And so when Carmen asked him, how'd you write all this, buddy? He said that he had help from the man. You know, the creepy man with the long black hair and the bony face and the dark eyes. That man. He had help from that man. In the movie, it shows him attacking his cousin, and that did happen. So because of that situation, he was locked up and put in a straitjacket and put away for like 45 days. So while he was there, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia because he was always talking about these entities that he saw and that spoke to him and that would have him like do things and write certain things down. So yeah, he got diagnosed with schizophrenia right off the freaking bat, which is really sad because I mean, this kid has been through so much already, and he already tried to tell you, like, if this is a true story, if it's real, like, he already tried to say that he wasn't comfortable there and that it just wasn't a good idea to be there, that he didn't like it there. And then, you know, the blood and the seeing the dude and the freaking people calling his name and shit. Like, he said this, like, he's been through so much and now he's in a straitjacket getting diagnosed with schizophrenia. That sucks. That really sucks. Like, I know I'm goofy in most of these videos, but that really freaking sucks. I feel like I'm losing my voice. So basically, before they actually took Philip from the house, I guess when he was getting like restrained, he told her, they're coming for you now. Yeah. So while he's in this thing, this insane asylum, at the house, what's going on is she has been attacked by a shower curtain and she is being sexually assaulted by these entities. Not only her, but cousin or niece and cousin Tammy that's staying there is now being assaulted by these spirits. Well, demons. We're just gonna say that because that's what they are. Even the dad was feeling like he was being tormented by these entities. Well, one night Tammy was like feeling like she was getting attacked or something, and so she goes to get Carmen, and Carmen comes in there and realizes that the last crucifix that was hanging is now gone. And remember, Philip is not there to be the one taking them, so now we have all these crucifixes gone and nobody knows where they went. Nobody knows where they are or who took them down. I mean, I know who took them down, but why didn't y'all? So she goes to get her Bible, and right before she starts to read it over Tammy, who is, remember, feeling like she's getting bothered, she sees a bony hand go up Tammy's shirt. And that, again, same as the other stories, that is what makes her decide that her son is not schizophrenic, that these are not just hallucinations, and this is not a freaking joke. That is what did it for her. That is what got her to finally believe that their house was freaking haunted by really bad entities. So guess who they called? Just guess. My favorite demonologist, Ed and Lorraine Warren. So Ed and Lorraine come to the house and immediately they're like, all right, there's definitely 2 demonic spirits here, and the rest of the spirits were bodies that were mutilated and assaulted by the morgue workers after they were dead, obviously. So because of that, the spirits were kind of stuck. So basically, they did an exorcism on the home and apparently got them all cleared out, and the family only lived there for like 2 years. But back to Philip, him being away from the home, he stopped hearing voices, he stopped doing that creepy journal writing thing he was doing. All of that went away, and they ended up saying that they misdiagnosed him and that he was not schizophrenic. So after that, he got a lot better, a lot healthier, and that's basically the end of their time in that house. But here is where the controversy comes in. The now owner of the house is like that story was bullshit. This has never been haunted. I've never had a problem here. They lied to get into Hollywood and get some money. She actually made a statement that said, we've lived in this house over 10 years. Our house is wonderful. These stories are ludicrous and made up for Hollywood purposes. So, I don't know. I really don't know. What do you think? Do you think it was real? I mean, I don't know. It's really hard to decide because there were things like that happened. I mean, there are things like that happen. So, and I feel like Ed and Lorraine Warren wouldn't have lied. I mean, what if it was just that it was like that when they were there and then the exorcism got rid of everything and that's why no one else experienced anything in the house. But Ed and Lorraine Warren did say that a lot of the details in the movie were true, but then again, there was a lot that was like amped up for Hollywood and changed. And I mean, obviously, if you're gonna make a movie out of it, you've got to embellish. I don't know, because like the family did interviews and stuff, and some people say that their answers were very inconsistent. So I don't know. I really don't know. Like, you really have to form your own opinion on that. I'm just giving you the information that I found. You can do what you want with it. Believe what you want with it. I don't know. I trust Ed and Lorraine. I feel like they probably did exorcise the house. It just may not have been as excessive as what they said it was. Because, I mean, Hollywood gotta sell. You know what I'm saying? They gotta sell these movies. Anyway, if you like this video, please give it a like. Leave me a comment, a little ghosty or something like that. Leave me a freaking comment and join the Mermaid Gang. Like and subscribe. That's all I ever ask you to do. It's free. Like and subscribe. And we can keep this creepy content going. Because these are the things I really enjoy doing. We're going to be doing all kinds of stuff here. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it. And we out.